Welcome to Hope Academy. My name is Mr. O, and today I am going over the Practice Exam 1 SAT Section 4, the calculator portion, specifically numbers 22 and 23. Feel free, if you are looking for the prior questions, we do have them in the channel, and so make sure to look at those questions if you are specifically looking for those questions. But for today, I am specifically looking at numbers 22 and 23. Usually what I do is that I first do the problem real quick and then I explain in depth as to how I was able to do the question quickly. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for number 22 and 23, so there's a chart right here. Okay, okay, which of the following best was culture from 2008, culture 2008 to 2010. Okay, so let's get started. 2008 to 2010. So okay. Oops. Okay. 2. Okay. So it's going to be B. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you how I was able to get to the answer B real quick and go into depth as to what I was thinking. So when I was looking at this chart, I just noticed there's a lot of numbers. I noticed there's a sort of like a categorical data that's provided right here on the left. And so right off, I sort of thought, okay, well, I need to get to the problem and not get too caught up on the numbers here. So I looked right down here and it says, which of the following best, approximates the average rate of change for the agricultural natural resources in Kansas for 2008 to 2010. So I looked right off to 2008 to 2010 and agriculture and noticed these numbers. And that's why I computed these numbers on the calculator. You don't need to be so specific as I did. You could literally just put like 480,000 and plug it out. But what is very interesting here, if you notice right here, is that I right off knew the answer was B, even though it wasn't exactly the same thing. If you notice, there's missing zeros. And so I automatically assumed most likely there is a unit-based situation that I'm not noting. And if you look right here, let's see, right here in the side note, which I didn't even read, it says in thousands of dollars. That means I literally have to include 3 more zeros into this, and thus why B actually makes sense. Usually this is what happens when there's a unit sort of change, or let's say they put only single numbers like 3, 4, 5, but it says in billions, and so there's a lot of different zeros that are left out. But don't get caught too much on that fact. For me, at least, I knew what I was doing. It was based on the idea of average. So what I did was that I just took this number, subtracted this number, and divided by 2 because I am finding the average per year of the change, and thus how I was able to get to the answer so quickly. Okay, just to continue on to number 23. What the following? Human resources. Okay. So human resources 2007 to 2010. Okay, so this looks like 4, sounds like a 4:6 ratio. And agriculture, education, highway. Okay, so I don't need to worry about this one at all. Okay. Yeah, so this looks like something like almost like a 4, almost 4 less than 4 to 4 ratio-ish or 5-ish ratio. This one looks like a 2 to 3 ratio. This looks like a 1.5 to 1.7 ratio, and this looks like 2 to 4. 4 to 6 is something like 67%. Okay, so my final answer for number 23 is B. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to do this question. So when I was reading this question, it is a ratio question. That means that I need to create things into fraction-based values. And so when I looked at this chart, I saw 4,051,000, whatever not, and 5 million. I just rounded it off a little bit. I did 4 out of 6. And 4 out of 6, if you know right off the top of your head, should be like around 2 out of 3, which is 66, 67%. So like 4 out of 6, if you want to just punch that in, it shows 66, 67%. And so they're looking for something that has a very similar ratio to this value. And so I looked ahead right here. I saw agriculture. I sort of rounded it off to like 4 to 5, which is about 80%-ish. For education, which is the answer, it looked around 2 to 3, which is very similar to human resources ratio, but I wanted to check to make sure that I did that correctly. I looked at highway, and using the answer, choices, I was able to narrow down that general government didn't count. It was something like 1.5 to 1.7, which is not a good option, and 2 to 4 is about 50%, and thus why I knew right off that education was the most obvious answer for this choice. Thus, my final answer for this question was B. And that concludes my explanation for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel or like our Facebook page, and we'll continue to make more content for you. Have a wonderful day.